up? What's up? Welcome. Conversations with TNathan. I'm simulcasting on the GCPR network, on YouTube, if I don't get banned, and on TikTok, if I don't get banned. How you all doing? Welcome, welcome. How you all doing today? Hope you all had a good Gracie. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. Got a song for you before we leave tonight. So stand by. Um, I'll make sure y'all send my friend and sister Gracie some positive universal energy. Um, y'all just make sure y'all do it. That's all y'all need to do. Send some positive universal energy to Gracie. I'll deeply appreciate it, and you will be rewarded. Okay, let's get it. Let's get it. I'm not going too much into other people's business, but I'll just do that. So, how you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful day. I hope you all are following the edicts of the show. A random act of kindness. Tell somebody you love them. And I hope somebody is telling you and showing you that they love you back on because there's nothing more spectacular than that. And I hope you also are mandatory giving the oppressor hell on a daily basis. Not just talking about it, being about it. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So let's get it. Let's get it. How y'all doing? I'm still waiting. Still waiting. I know Jay is here. I see. I know Gracie is here. I see Rain is here. Yeah. So we're good. Good. Today, I know it's been an interesting day. It's been an interesting day. We're going to talk about the sentencing of Rhoda Osmond, and if you all remember her, 2003, 23. And they referred to her as the Brick Lady. Well, today she got sentenced, and I'm going to answer questions, talk about that, and tell you all how, regardless, my stance has not changed on protecting women. It hasn't. Kaylee Russell, when Kaylee Russell faked her own disappearance, I did not feel any kind of way about changing my stance on still, I would have still did the same thing. I am more happy that as a black woman, as a woman, even though she faked it for whatever mental reason she did, I'm glad she made it back home and then become part of the 85,000 black women and girls that go missing in this country and never return, and the women, period, in this country that are the primary victims of violent crimes when it comes to intimate partners and relationships. So I didn't even know she was on trial for fraud. Yeah, I missed a chapter. So how did Rhoda get the bump? Self-inflicted? No, she was actually hit with a water bottle. But I don't know if the bump was from a water bottle. Let me just say that. Not knowing if the bump is from a water bottle, but we do have they introduced surveillance video and showed that number one, she knew the man she was in the car with, and they got it. They had a altercation, and she wound up hitting him with a foreign object first, and he threw a water bottle at her. And then she proceeded to go out in front of a crowd and call out the black men there for not doing anything. But literally, she was in the car with the man. Um, and so that was fraud. She raised $42,000. I begin to see why people don't want to donate money. She raised $42,300, and that was the fraud because the surveillance video showed that she didn't get hit with a brick. She didn't get hit with a brick. But I'm gonna show you what I have, Rain. As a matter of fact, let's just get into it. Let's just get into it. I'll show you a moment to pull it up, and we'll get right into it. I like my. Tell me if you like my background too. Tell me if you like this. Do you like that? I like that. I love cosmic phenomena. Let's get into it. Let's see if I can pull up the right video first, because I got a couple of them here. So let's go. Let me see. 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Uh, go for this one. Let's try this one first. If not, you just get a preview of what's to come. See if I got it right. Do you all remember Rhoda Osmond? who in 2003 claimed that after she refused to give her number to a man, he struck her with a brick. And that allegation alone set off a whole chain of events that led to a lot of think pieces and lives of people debating if men were responsible to protect black women. I unequivocally believe it is our responsibility, regardless of the fact that we now know that Rhoda lied. This is an update because today, after deliberating for 3 hours, a jury convicted Rhoda of stealing $42,000 via a GoFundMe page that she had set up after claiming this. Let's go to the report.
Yeah, so there's a few top stories that we're looking at. GoFundMe schemers found guilty tonight. Car crashes into a vet clinic in Montgomery County and fire scorches land in Galveston Island. That's some of the top stories tonight. Let's start with that GoFundMe scheme story. Remember Rhoda Osman? We talked about her a few times for the last couple of years. In 2023, she was known as the Brick Lady online. She made claims that a man threw a brick at her head outside of a bar in West Houston because she didn't give him her phone number. Well, she went on to collect $42,000 through a GoFundMe campaign she started after that. Well, a Harris County jury found her guilty of theft. She has to spend 90 days in jail, 10 years probation. She has to pay restitution, 10 years of no social media, which is
10
big for
years
her
of no
brand.
social media. Authorities presented video evidence that showed Osmond getting into an altercation verbally and physically with a man after she struck him in the face with an unknown object and he retaliated by throwing a water bottle at her. And let me say the following in closing: Rhoda is a piece of shit. She lied. She took advantage of a system in which women are routinely the subject of violence at the hands of men. There were many women that were actually, with video evidence, shown to be assaulted by men because they refused to give them their number. Rhoda took advantage of that. And for that, I will not forgive her. But that does not change the fact that I still stand in the same place when it comes to protecting women from men. Feel about it how you will. Y'all have the day you deserve, and may the ancestors judge you accordingly. Um, what's this? What is that? I haven't even got to any AI. What is the comment? It's all AI. What the hell are you talking about? Did you stumble into the wrong live? Because we were talking about that issue. Did you really? What are you talking about? It's all AI. Do y'all be on some other dick dope and dog food cocktails that you can't stay on the topic I'm talking about at that time? You just stumbled into the live. Yeah. Pirate, don't, nope. We're doing ad hominems only because that was a stupid ass comment. To go with this, to go with this, this article we were talking about, or this, I don't know, what do I call them on here? Do I call them articles, stories, whatever? Stupid ass comment. We only do ad hominems in response to stupid ass comments. Yep. Turn your sarcasm and your wit onto 10 and go at it. Now, so as I said. My stance does not change. It was an ad hominem, but maybe I don't want complicated ones for them. I need you. You listen. They stumble in making those kind of comments. They deserve raw and uncut. We have to make sure they understand that we are insulting them. Yes, we need it. We need them to understand that was an insult. Okay, so understand. My stance on the protection of women and especially black and brown women is not affected any about what she did. She is a piece of shit. Um, she took advantage of the fact that women, black and brown women especially, are the victims of violence on a regular basis, and she monetized that. And she monetized. So for that, I will not be forgiven. I will not. By the same token, if I'm out somewhere and somebody tried to hit her with a brick, I wouldn't allow that either. I still wouldn't allow that. Because misogyny and misogynoir exist. we're not going to let the 1% keep us from protecting the 99% that are the victims of violence. There was a young lady that came out after her story that actually had the video of her at the gas station rejecting the man and he slapped her. So we're not going to allow this. And people can say, "Well, you did it." Yes, all of y'all, my whole stance during this whole situation was a lot of people showed their true colors because even knowing it's true or not, uh, think pieces on black men not responsible for protecting black women, the idea that they called what they call them bullet bags, that was abhorrent. But you know, when people care more about being clicks and views than they care about being accurate and right, that isn't a problem of itself, no matter what side of the equation you're on. And I will still always protect victims. Um, somebody appears and says they're being victimized, I'm not going to chase the story down right then. If I'm present, I'm going to remove them from whatever perceived danger they're in, and then we'll deal with any investigation or anything else. See, I think people think protect victims mean automatically throw somebody away. No, that means I'm going to remove the victim from the situation, and then we'll find out what happened, and then you decide how to proceed. That's one of the problems I think with binary thinking. People think it's either or this. And no, there's a whole range of things to do in between. If I don't come up and physically see the violence, then I have to go with the person that says they are being violently attacked. And I'm just going to separate them from, and I'm going to tell you that separation will tell me a lot about the other person. If the other person becomes aggressive in the face of that separation and I have to knock them out, I will feel no way about it because I'm trying to assess the situation. And if you tell me it's not my business when I see a woman getting hit and struck in public, and you say it's not your business, I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to make it my business. I'm going to shoot you because that's not the answer of somebody who has a misunderstanding. So say, do it as you will. Or I can't shoot you. I do have other means to deal with you. But and I make no apologies for that. What's up, nephew? I make no apologies for that because 99 times out of 100, it is going to be the aggressor is going to be the one who is not looking for help. So act accordingly. That's all I got to say for y'all. Act accordingly. Um, are there any questions? I know people were like, "Oh, you did this, you did that." Are there any questions? Because I said what I said. I said what I said, and I stand by it. I stand by it. Because if it's a chance, we're going to always, and that's not just any case. I'm going to protect the little guy first anyway. Unless I find out the little guy is, and I mean that metaphorically, if the smaller person is the one that's the aggressor, then that's a whole nother story. But I'm going to find out first. I'm going to find out first. I hate bullies, so I bully bullies. I stand on that. I stand on that. So that's the first thing that I wanted to run by. And if we need to, we can come back and revisit it. Like I say, y'all can ask me any questions on the things I said in the past about this or where I stood. And unlike some people, I'm not any way the wind blows. It's not any way the wind blows. Next, it's a smorgasbord. Let's see what we get next. What do we get next? Yeah, I know I had other things I want to talk about.
How has this food stamp delay affected you personally? How it
Now, let's
affected
talk
me?
about
Look here, I came
AI.
to get my ribeyes, my chips, my soda, all that. Swipe the card, it said error. I thought maybe my car was just tired from last month. You contact the office for help? I called them. They put me on hold for 42 minutes, then the music. Keep it real with you. I get over 2,500 a month in stamps. I sell them 2,000 worth for about 12 to 1,500 cash. That's why
Yeah.
everybody's upset. Folks say we're taking advantage, but that's how we get by. And that's the frustration we're hearing out here in downtown Atlanta.
You can find both of those videos I just played on this page on TikTok and across various social media platforms being shared, especially by bigoted, racist white people. And both of those videos are fake. They are AI generated
AI
videos
generated video.
designed to target black people in the most negative light possible. You see this name, Sora, on any video, you instantly should know that that video is AI generated. Sora is an open AI app, and in true disproportionately adversely affecting black and brown people, people are using Sora to spread disinformation and misinformation. And because the app is so easy to operate, they are flooding social media with them. And full stop before somebody start talking about AI like it's Skynet in the sky. This is not AI's fault. This is people. This is our society's choice on how to use it. So
Thank you.
please don't stumble into my
Don't
comment
stumble into my
section talking
comment
about
section.
the evils of AI. It is the evil of people utilizing AI that is the problem. AI is just a tool. Don't get
Sora.
mad at the hammer because
Sora.
the person who picked it up chose to do something destructive with it. And people will try to blur out the Sora logo on these deceptive videos. Like right here, you see the blur up there? And you can wait a moment because the
Yeah.
Sora logo, before it moves, will show itself. And in spite of this being easily determined as an AI generated video, people will run with that because it confirms their confirmational bias. The comment section is just loaded with bigots and racists and rocket raccoons who want this to be true so they can use it to target black people in the most negative light possible.
They need it to
So
be
now
true.
you know that when you see the Sora logo in a video, because a lot of y'all send me videos with that logo in it, acting like you're onto something, it is AI generated. And
No,
look
you're
for
not
a
on to anything.
blur where the Sora logo would be, especially when it moves around in the video. That is also indicative of people trying to hide the fact that it is AI because they know. Understand, to blame the tool instead of the people is part of the problem. And that, in and of itself, is a fool's errand.
Yeah.
So, now you know. If you don't choose to act accordingly, that is a reflection of who you are. You'll have the day you deserve. And the revolution will be televised. So, now you know. And if you don't act in accordance with knowing, as I said, you are part of the problem. See, in this thing we call liberation or the movement or the fight against the oppressor, there are only two sides. Either through your action, you oppose the oppressor, or through your inaction, you join with the oppressor. There is no other option. Y'all have the day you deserve, and may the ancestors judge you accordingly.
And then there you have it. And there you have it. Like I say, I watch people use it's Sora. It was Sora. It's from Open AI. And I keep telling people AI is not the enemy any more than a hammer is the enemy. And when people be just saying, "Oh, AI, I can't stand AI," what did y'all didn't like cut and paste in the '80s then? When people were cutting people's heads off and putting them on other bodies and compromising positions, that's the same thing. It is not the technology that is the issue. It is the society is the issue. And yes, there should be legislation, but at the end of the day, thi- when I see people that just mention the AI aspect of it and not understand that AI is just a tool. Artificial. Now, when you talk, we can talk about synthetic intelligence, that'd be SI. That's a whole nother conversation. But I find it that people don't know what AI is as opposed to what they think it is because they've been watching too many uh, sci-fi movies from the 90s or HAL or 2001: A Space Odyssey. Um, but I digress. And that's rooted in fear. AI can't do anything you don't tell it to do. That's why I say AI is not the problem.
Now, synthetic intelligence, that'll be a whole nother conversation, but that will still be rooted in the society in which it's created. That's what I try to get people to understand. If you, and it's so easy. Hey, I know people like talking about, yes, biased thinking machines or biased thinking consciousness in the form of synthetic intelligence is more of a problem because it would just take on the that's why we still have to be part of the process. We can't run from the future or technology. We just need to make sure we are involved in its creation because running from it leads to feel, oh, racists and bigots are not running from AI. They're not. They're jumping at the chance to be programmers. They're jumping at the chance to be. I look at Grok and I look at that's the Elon Musk uh, version of AI, and I was looking at the difference between how they talked about George Floyd as opposed to how other um, information platforms talking. Now, AI is supposed to walk the web and gather information and give you just data, but Grok gives you biased data from a point. Like they called George before they even get and like that wasn't relevant to why he was killed that day. So that is a problem. That is a problem. Um, AI is not the enemy. It's the same. We're fighting the same enemy ever since a musket to the automatic weapon to AI. It's the person behind it that is the issue. That's why I be looking at people and I be like, yeah, you could remove the tool, but you don't do something about the society that in racism and biases are embedded in, the- every tool becomes a weapon. They can't help themselves. They creating fantastic representation, at least it's that's it. That's another thing. These stories will be so over the top that I be looking at people that I say, you just want to believe them. Yeah, you just want to believe them. Now, let's move to JD Vance. JD Vance was at a turning point while he's talking about, what he does as vice president. He seems to have a lot of time to host Charlie Kirk's podcast and turn up at Turning Point USA events. He has a lot of time on his hands. So let's, let's talk about
My mother always told me a lie does not care who tells it.
it. Hold on.
And I've learned throughout my life that that is especially true.
Are we getting a lot of y'all getting a lot of lag on my videos? Y'all getting a lot of lag? Hold on. Let's see if we could do something about